Welcome back to How to Save Like a Mennonite, and I'm Rachel, the Mennonite Miser. And today I'll be your Mennonite Miser advisor on heating and air conditioning. I noticed in my last video with appliances, I promised to mention heat sources and forgot completely. So we'll go over that here, and we'll also do air conditioning as well. So this is a really hard one. And when you are without heat, you can die. It's if you're in certain climates. So number one, if you are in an emergency situation with heat, you should absolutely seek help from whoever, even if it goes against your moral fiber to call up a government resource and explain that you are an emergency heating source. Please do not hesitate to do that. There are laws in certain places where the heat company is not allowed to turn off your furnace during winter. Please take advantage of these things if it means that you're going to die without doing that. That said, if you are not in an emergency situation, there are ways to fix your house to make it a little more able to retain the heat. And of course, I'm not referring to scrapping everything down and putting a $36,000 solar paneling outfit on top of your roof. That's just ridiculous for most of us. But there are ways, if you do not have doors in between the rooms in your home, putting sheets up really helps. You put sheets up in the rooms. Now, this is one of the reasons why it's difficult to have such big homes these days, is that if you are in one of these situations, then there's rooms that just in the winter are pretty much unusable. Blocking off, having a safe room. This is why I tell people, if you're going to buy a house, look for two things. Number one, a fireplace, and number two, a bedroom on the first floor. The bedroom on the first floor is because I've watched so many of my relatives lose mobility as they age and then end up in a home. And those who did not end up in a home lived longer and were able to stay in their homes longer because of a bedroom on the first floor. I know this is a little off topic, but those are two things, and they're so important because you may not think you'll ever lose mobility, and wow, it can happen in a minute. Back to the fireplace. Having a fireplace assures that you will have a safe room, at least one safe room in your home if there is a problem with your heating. This can save your life. This can do a lot of things, not just provide heat for you. It can provide light. It can provide comfort, and it can be a food source. If you wrap up potatoes and put them in there, you have to be very careful, of course, cooking in a fireplace, and I'm sure there are many places online that will help you to do that. But my point is, we've gotten away from the fireplaces, and I guess it was just about the same time when they thought, oil and petrol and gas, whatever you call it in your country, was 25 cents a gallon for the rest of eternity. And now that's just not the case, and winter can be really hard for people, even in the most industrialized countries. So fireplace is wonderful. If you do not have that, closing off rooms, using sheets, using doors if you've got them, that's quite obvious, but sheets, that may help you a lot. And also heating rooms only as you need them. This is hard to get into that mindset when we're used to leaving the house heat all day when we're at work. Here it is, heating beautifully 9 hours a day, including commute time, and then you come home and it's perfectly heated. It makes absolutely no sense. I've been without a furnace. I'm without one now. I chose not to get it fixed because of the whole issues with the cost and the oil and getting away from the grid as much as possible. And what I did is, if I knew I was going to sleep soon, I would heat up my bedroom, and it would take maybe 2 or 3 hours to heat that up. In the meantime, I'd be in the kitchen, and of course doubling up with the heat source, cooking, baking, doing whatever I needed to do. And then the same thing with the bathroom. If it's time to take a shower or whatever, you heat that up maybe an hour before, depending on your heater. This can be expensive. This can definitely be expensive, but I find that if I'm really careful, it's cheaper than using the furnace. The trick is self-discipline in a lot of it. It's also not being afraid of putting on layers of clothes and not feeling weird, not feeling like I live in wherever country you live in, whether it's industrialized or not. I shouldn't have to live this way. Changing the mindset of why shouldn't we have to live the way people used to live? Do you think it's really sustainable that we're going to be able to have heat forever on petrol or oil? Are we always going to be able to have, washing machines with thousands of dollars to get washer and dryer and the ovens and electricity? Just keep all those things together. A lot of people can't do that. Getting out of that mindset of thinking we have to have things a certain way is going to really help you psychologically when it's cold in your home. I like it now. If I go into a heated area, I lived with a friend who heats their house regularly, and I was so annoyed. I blocked off the vent to my room. I was constantly hot. I had to have the window open. I practically needed an air conditioner in the dead of winter because it was just too hot. And I felt good. I thought, you know what? I've gotten out of that racket. Of course, you can't do that if you live in Alaska. It's a different situation, but again, a fireplace can really, really help. So in terms of air conditioning, I'm pretty tough that way, but when it gets really, really hot, we've got something. It's like a dehumidifier. It's called a portable air conditioner, and we can drag that around where we are. It works wonderfully. You have to empty it though. The water condensation accumulates in the back, and you've got to keep throwing that out every couple hours. That can be a little bit annoying. We do have a window unit as well, and um, that again would restrict us into certain rooms, but then that's why we just bought a smaller home, because who needs all that, right? We didn't. And the whole trick to saving money is getting into the mindset of using less, of needing less, and of understanding that that's not deprivation. That is freeing yourself to live a richer life, to save more money, to help other people, and to just live a fuller life. So this is a little bit about heating and air conditioning, and if this is helpful, please comment. And also, if you found alternative heat sources, I might add the good hot water bottle. I just remember that one that my grandmother had. They were wonderful. And they have these clay packs as well you can stick in the microwave, and the clay will heat if you don't want to use a heating pad. Heating pads can be helpful as well. So list your own and see if we can get some more tips on alternative heating sources that are safe and reliable, and see what we can do. Thanks.